Welcome to Timber&Terra. I'm Glenn, and we're going to clean up these blowdowns. These blowdowns resulted from me removing this rock wall, which went right along there. You can see some of the rocks still off to the side. And I cut some neighboring trees. So between the lack of trees and the lack of the anchor that the rock wall was evidently providing, these guys lost their footing, so they blew down in some strong winds we had. I think it was late summer. So the first thing I'm going to do is limb these all up. They will be firewood. I'll cut them into 16-foot logs and drag them roadside right over there, and I'll pick them up with my logging trailer. So the first thing we'll do is just limb these all up and then see what I have to work with to drag out. Well, there's the first two trees. These are all 16 foot. You might question why I cut this one sort of funny. So what I did is from the end of that to here is 4 feet. So I'll cut a piece about here, and then this one will be another piece of firewood, and I'll split it. So then this will be 2 pieces, and then measure another 16 foot from this, which used to be attached to that. 16 feet from that all the way to the end. So that. All right, so I think there's at least 7 more. So let's attack those. So for these next 2 that I'll take, this one, the crown is sort of a little bit high. I'm not a very tall person, so that would be reaching up above my shoulders quite a bit. And this next one here, obviously, I'm not going to do much with limbing that. So these I'm going to cut at the root ball. Pull them out enough so they hit the ground, and then limb them. Curvy ones like this are always a challenge to cut up into firewood. Obviously they don't pile as neatly as nice straight ones, but and I do okay with them. Cutting them to 16-foot lengths, you have to follow the contour. So if I took a tape measure straight from there to the end, I'd probably have 17 feet. That just makes for a little bit of waste that is just a pain to deal with when I process the firewood. So I'll measure this one up, these two up as best I can, 16 foot, you know, along the contour of the log, and we'll just put them in the pile with the rest. So here are the last 4 trees. There was not really a whole lot of love lost when these blew down. I mean, I still have plenty up there, but I would rather have the fir trees. They look prettier in the wintertime. As far as visual barrier, I do have a neighbor right there. You can probably see the pink ribbon, that's the property line. So I really want to encourage all these fir to grow. And this is a nice one. I don't want to damage it. I was lucky enough for over there, the humps worked out where you probably noticed, perhaps, that when I pulled the logs over the humps, they sort of missed the trees. They bent them over a bit, but they sprung back, the firs. But that's not going to be the case with this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take care of that one. There's almost all of these logs have had 3 16-foot sections to them, so they're basically been dragging them out 48 feet long. But for these, I want to drag them out that way because I can avoid the trees that are there, the firs. But I can't easily avoid these the root balls that have tipped up. I don't think I could push them down. They're probably frozen with the tractor. Probably not enough power, not enough traction. But what I think I'm going to do is I'll take care of that log. I'll bring the tractor back here and I'll just move the butts over this way so I have a straight shot. That way I'll go around the other field and pull them out in that direction. this one should have a pretty straight shot. I'll go between those two root balls. These other ones, I don't think I'll need to set over. Well, I don't have a lot of room to set them over anyhow, maybe a foot, 2 feet. But what I think I can do is, instead of going that way, like I'm going to with that log, I'll go that way. So if I hook it here, it should scoot along the side of those root balls and then out between those two fir trees. Hopefully, it's my plan. And there's 2 logs here, a larger one up here and a smaller one down below. So for this next one, again, it's 48 feet long. I'm going to try to take it out full length. What's going to have to happen for that to work, I think there's a couple of things. One is it has to ride up over this root ball. I do have this set so it should rotate this way as it pulls. Hopefully it'll make it up over here. If it doesn't and it gets stuck, I have a mark here. The first 16-foot log is right here. So then what I would do is cut that first log off. Once it's a short log, it should be able to twist around this just fine. And then I should be able to take the 32 feet that's left out there as well. But we'll give this a shot. The other thing which may become an issue is the tail end of it, when it turns that way, may hit that popple. All right, let's give this a shot, see how it goes. Okay, well, I guess I did not anticipate it would bump up against that. I guess we're done for the day. Snap my cable. So I did tug a couple times. Normally, if something's going to give, it'll give when you tug like that. Must have had a kink or something for a weak spot. So yeah, in retrospect, after my first tug that didn't work, I should have cut it there. But right now I'm dead in the water. see a lot of frayed pieces here. So I have ordered a new one. I can get a replacement wire rope like this one, which is 7/16, 165 feet long, for about just over $300, including shipping from Pennsylvania to Vermont. The other option, which I actually had contemplated until I found out the price, was replacing this with synthetic, which would have been a 1/2 inch synthetic line, 200 feet, I think, because it is more compact than this is when on the reel, so you can fit a little bit more footage on there. But instead of $300, it was $1,300. So even if it was twice the cost, I probably would have made the switch because it's really light. I think they're supposed to be safer. They don't have any spring action. If they do break, they just sort of fall where they break. And I think being lighter is easier to carry in the woods and haul long distances. But I would have paid twice the price, but I'm not going to pay 4 times the price. So I'm taping this end just to keep it together, so when I cut it off I don't end up with a bunch of tiny pieces of wire all over the ground. Starting to melt the electrician's tape. So I got a notification. I ordered it last night. I got a notification. This Woodward's Crossing, I think, in Pennsylvania is where it's coming from, so it's not shipped from Wallenstein. In fact, on their website, it didn't even see wire rope available. I just saw the synthetic. But I'm pretty sure Woodward's Crossing is where I bought this from, shipped from Pennsylvania. So these are 3/8 clamps, and it's 7/16 cable. I'm guessing I can make it fit. My plan. Once I get past the tape, it'll be fine. There we go. I guess it might have been easier to take the clamp off and just put the U part on separately. I thought it would go on a little bit easier than this. There we go. So this hook I have no idea where I got it. I'm thinking it's pretty light duty. But if it's nice and it's small, I do have a like a 5/16 slip hook with this little keeper that I could use. The other thing I thought of doing, but you know, for the week, maybe 2 weeks that I'm going to use it like this before I get my new one, I didn't think it was worth it, but is to unravel this, loop this around. One of those, I'm not sure what it's called, a little grommet or something, where it's meant to bend this so that it doesn't kink right here, and then reweave this into the wire rope. It's a neat little thing. I'd like to do it sometime, but just in the interest of time, I'm not going to do it now. So yeah, I'm thinking maybe I made a mistake trying to do this through, so I'll do it this way and see what happens. All right, that was all for naught. Okay. But this is I'm not going to see a lot of use or a lot of force, just like the original ferrule that sort of pressed or melted in the end. It's not used for direct pulling because that would never withstand 11,000 pounds. I'm guessing neither would this. But since this is always wrapped around the last log, a lot of the friction, a lot of that force is really taken up by the friction of this against the log that it's wrapped against. So the hook itself doesn't really see a lot of force. And this is temporary, so what I have left in there is about 120 feet, which for almost all of my jobs is going to be enough. Wow. One more hand, that's it, just one more. Just needed enough threads to stick out to start the nut. I know in my days with safety, industrial safety, remember the OSHA inspector always saying never saddle a dead horse as it relates to putting clamps on cable. And I'll tell you what that means. So this is considered the dead end, and this is the saddle. I can't remember if I asked the reason why or if I got an answer. If I did, I don't remember what it was. I'm sure it has something to do with, well, the propensity for this connection to fail. For whatever reason, it's less likely to fail when the saddle is on the live portion of the cable rather than the dead. I know, and sometimes in this instance, I think I've seen others will sort of alternate. If they have, say, 3 of these clamps, they'll put 2 like this, and then they'll put the saddle on this one, sort of alternate. But this is literally a temporary fix. I have those last logs to drag out. I want to get that done, so that project is completed. And I have, I think, one other project that I may do with this temporary setup. Or I may do that if I get the new cable in a short order, meaning say the end of this week. Then I'll put the cable on and do that project. So that's where I was trying to pull it out before. This one was successful, obviously. This one here, I am going to try to bring it up over this root ball. Again, if I don't have success pulling it sort of 90 degrees, like I am now, to get it sort of in line with that path there, then I'll just cut it there and it'll twist around easily. Well, that project's done. Looks a lot better out there. There's a couple leaning trees that were damaged or tipped a bit by these that I'll take down either later this winter or maybe in the spring. I have some other popple over there I also want to take down. Some are dead and some are just not healthy, and some are in the way of my future plans for that field. So we've gathered a bit of firewood. This is all quaking aspen, or locally sometimes referred to as popple or poplar. It's not the best firewood, but with an outdoor wood boiler and plenty of storage room, it doesn't really matter. Softwood, sort of low BTU hardwood like this is fine. So that'll put the do it to it. I guess I did not realize how bad a shape that cable was, because even in the middle, you saw where I put that new hook on, there are a lot of frayed ends, which I did not realize. I thought the center of it, because it doesn't get used that much, would be in good condition. So that's sort of why that breakage took me by surprise, because in the middle, 40 feet in, I didn't really think it was going to be that bad. I knew I had some kinks and some sort of permanent bends in the cable near the end where it gets used a lot. Anyhow, lesson learned. I guess I should pay more attention to the condition of the cable and maybe replace it on a more regular basis, and maybe give some more thought to the synthetic cable. So thanks for hanging out with me on this one. The weather's going to be warm. Right now it's in the high 30s. It's supposed to be warm like this for the next week or so, so I probably won't be back doing this type of work until the ground freezes again, which should be about a week or maybe more. But I appreciate you watching this video and hope you stay tuned for future ones.